All right, so I think we're gonna get started. Hello, everyone. I just want to welcome you to the Global Plant Council webinar. Today's webinar is on AI, Sensors and Robotics in Plant Phenotyping and Precision Agriculture. So my name is Zuzanna, and I'm a publishing specialist with the journal Frontiers in Plant Science. And this is the second webinar for our journal. And we're delighted to work again with the Global Plant Council to highlight the new research in the field and to support the plant science community. I'm very happy to have you all here for what we think is going to be a very interesting and innovative webinar. And so thank you so much for joining. So let me briefly go over our, wait, sorry, are the slides being presented? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just coming up.
Okay, sorry. Running a little bit ahead of schedule. Yeah, okay. So let me briefly go over the agenda for today's webinar. So I'm going to first give a short introduction to Frontiers and to our journal. And this will be followed by a talk by Dr. Isabel Mendoza, she's basically the Chief Communications Officer at the Global Plant Council. And so Isabel will kind of tell us a little bit about the Global Plant Council and their goals, what they're trying to achieve. And we will then have our key speakers give their talks. So our key speakers for today are Dr. Yongliang Qiao and Dr. João Valente. And these are the winners of the 2022 Global Plant Council Prize. And so Yongliang and João are kind enough to be with us here today and to share their research in this webinar. They will be presenting their overall research that they do in plant science, as well as a little bit about their winning research topic. So Yongliang will talk about artificial intelligence and robotics-based plant phenotyping for smart agriculture. And then João will talk about agro-food aerial robotics towards close-range perception and interaction. And after this, we'll have a short Q&A session where you are welcome to ask any questions. If you have any feedback or comments for our key speakers, we kind of want this to be a little bit more interactive, and we'd love to have our audience participate. So before I tell you a little bit about Frontiers and our journal, I would just like to mention that this webinar is being recorded and the video will be posted on our Frontiers YouTube page. So if you'd like to rewatch it, it will be available there. So please just make sure that your microphone is muted and that your camera is off. And you are welcome to submit your questions also in the Q&A chat box. And if you want to specify your question for Yongliang or Qiao, you are welcome to. So our key speakers will be happy to answer questions at the end of the presentation. So now let me share with you a few words about our journal. Okay, next slide. So we are basically on a mission to make science open. So Frontiers is an open access publisher, and this is our goal, to make science open. Next slide, please. So why is this our mission? Our goal is to live healthy lives on a healthy planet. And as research evolves and the scientific community develops new goals and strategies to tackle the many issues we face today, we really do want to make sure that everybody has access to this knowledge and can read and share it at any time. Next slide, please. And so how are we going to do this? So we are on our way, Frontiers is on the way to becoming the largest and most cited publisher in the world. Currently, we are the 6th largest publisher and the 3rd most cited publisher. And our articles have received, to this date, a total of 2.3 billion views and downloads. And so this kind of just highlights and emphasizes the power of open access publishing. We also currently have 185 journals, spanning all types of fields, humanities, sciences, life science, health, and biomedicine. And we are constantly developing by launching new journals and sections to home our groundbreaking research. And now we're just going to show you a short video to give you an insight into our journal, Frontiers in Plant Science. Okay, great. Could we have the next slide, please? So Frontiers in Plant Science is the most cited journal in its field. Currently, we have an impressive impact factor of 6.6, and our CITE score is 8. Next slide, please. And we're basically publishing research to improve our understanding of plant science. And to date, we have 24 sections for our journal that cover all areas of plant science. Articles submitted to our journal pass through a very rigorous peer review process. And we also have an editorial board of experts who work alongside us to ensure that we only publish the highest quality research. Next slide, please. And so our research topics, which are also known as article collections, they're hosted by experienced professionals within the plant science community. And these professionals work as guest editors to shape the scope of their collection and to give a platform to other experts to submit their research. Articles submitted to our research topics have more views, downloads, and research citations. And we give full control to our guest editors to shape their collection and handle the latest research. So I hope that gives you an insight into Frontiers and into our journal. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Isabel Mendoza. And Isabel will share with you about the Global Plant Council.
Thank you, Zuzanna, and all the teams at Frontiers in Plant Science for taking the lead in organizing this joint webinar. I know it is sometimes a big challenge to do so, and I would like to welcome you again on behalf of the Global Plant Council to this webinar on AI, Sensors and Robotics in Plant Phenotyping and Precision Agriculture by Dr. Yongliang Qiao and Dr. João Valente. First, let me introduce myself and the Global Plant Council. My name is, next slide, please. My name is Isabel Mendoza. I'm a plant biotechnologist turned plant science communicator, and I'm the Chief Communicator Officer at the Global Plant Council. You may be wondering, what is the Global Plant Council? Happy you ask. Next slide, please. The Global Plant Council is a global coalition of plant science organizations. Next slide. Currently, the Global Plant Council includes 27 organizations around the world, and the members range from professional plant science societies, such as the Japanese, the Canadian, the Argentinian, and others, to purely research organizations such as the Australian National University or the International Rice Research Institute in the Philippines. Next slide. We work to raise awareness about the importance of plant science for society and to build up the community of global plant scientists. We are therefore a global voice of reference for plant science and plant scientists. Next slide. We put in motion many activities, and I will just name some examples. First, we showcase daily a new plant science story in our website and on our social media channels. This means about 250 plant science stories per year. that we share with our currently over 40,000 followers. Stories could address any topic and just need to be connected to plant science, forestry, agriculture, but also molecular biology or molecular genetics. We make specific effort for diversity, not only related to the topics that we highlighted, but also geographical diversity, meaning where did this research originated, and related to journal. And not only highlight big journals, but also smaller ones. We try to highlight, if possible, open access research, also to facilitate the reading of the paper to our audience if this decides so. Next slide, please. Another important action that we are quite proud of is our Early Career Research International Network, or ACRI, addressed to help early career researchers to find the first job, land a grant, build their network of collaborations, and communicate their science efficiently. You could check all our activities on our devoted website in our webpage. Next slide, please. We also put in motion groups to discuss, working groups to discuss matters of joint interest to the plant science community, bringing together experts from around the world with different expertise to discuss the issues and organize events or put suggestions for policies in writing. Currently, we have one working on digital sequence information, access and benefit sharing, and the Nagoya protocol. And when appropriate, we put in writing these thoughts of the community in the form of policy or position papers and make them known through our website, of course, and our social media channels and our connections with the plant science community. Next slide, please. We also have a series of webinars, obviously, as you can notice, around mainly 3 pillars: global collaborations, the academic Odyssey series, and soft and transversal skills that could range from writing papers, choosing the appropriate paper to publish, how to do proper review, and science communication in the broad sense. We published all our webinars when finished freely on our YouTube channel, and currently you can find there, I think, 51 videos or on our past webinars and also on other activities that were tape recorded before. So next slide, please. And with this, I finished. That's all from my side. I would want to, if you want to connect with me or with the Global Plant Council, you may do so using our different channels available. Here you can find my email address, our website address, and also how to connect with us through social media. We are probably present in all the major social media, and we are happy to connect there. That's all from my side, and I return the floor to Zuzanna. Thank you.
So, Yongliang, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thanks very much. The organization of the Global Plant Science Council and the Frontier in Plant Science is, I'm very happy to share my previous research work to you. Today, I'd like to share the topic is artificial intelligence and robotic-based plant phenotyping for smart agriculture. My share content including 4 aspects. The first is about some basic concepts about plant phenotyping and smart agriculture. The second about AI applications. The third is about robotic-based smart farming, and the last one is about my own thoughts about the future farming in agriculture. The first thing is about I want to see why we need the plant phenotyping and the smart agriculture. There are several key factors. The first thing is that climate and weather change, which always bring the biggest return to agricultural production. As we all know, the greenhouse gas, the drought, flood, and especially in Australia, the bushfire, all these factors pose the threat to agriculture or forestry production. Another thing is that the agricultural labor decreasing. Nowadays, many young people, they don't like to live in the rural area. So there are not much farmers to do the agricultural production. The third is about food security. As we all know, the seed and soil degeneration. This is a big challenge in recent years. Another is about the global population increasing. The population increasing brings the highly demand increasing. No matter the quality or no matter the quantity, the agricultural food demanding is increasing than the previous years. So that's the reason why we need plant phenotyping and smart agriculture. The basic concept about plant phenotyping is that we need to comprehensive assessment of complex plant trees. Usually it includes the physical, biochemical, or psychological properties. Please note, plants like the animals, like human beings, they also have the psychological properties. But in agriculture, we mainly focus on the morphology, structure, and growth status, and the metabolic characters of the plant, because we are more focused on the yield and the quality of the agriculture products. So it's about plant phenotyping. Another topic is about smart agriculture, because we, based on plant phenotyping, we can do some farm management to boost the agriculture production efficiency. Usually, we will using information technology, AI or robotic technology, to make sure the smart agriculture towards to a sustainability way. By this way, we can reduce the cost and increase the production efficiency. The following, I'd like to introduce some AI applications in the plant phenotyping and the smart agriculture. We can see there are 6 main applications of AI in agriculture. The first one is about crop and soil monitoring. The second and the third is about weed and pest management, because we need to make sure there are no weeds in the field and no pest on the plants. Also, some applications in the disease detection. We can detect the plant leaf disease or some disease on the fruits or something like this. Another important thing is about yield prediction, because it's related to the farmers' income. Another one is that we can integrate AI technology into robotics to make robotics an automatic operation in the field. The following case is about the grape disease severity classification. Traditionally, for the grape disease severity classification, we need the farmers to observe them, and then we can decide the amount of chemical use to control the disease. But now we can use AI and camera to remotely monitor the grape leaves disease. Here we do some severity classification about the grape downy mold disease. This is one popular disease for the grape leaves. We propose the deep learning based approach. Here we propose the SE ResNet. We integrate the attention mechanism to the ResNet network. Our proposed approach can classify the severity. We can get the accuracy above the 96. This picture shows the classification results. So we can classify the healthy leaves. There's no disease. The level 1, level 2, the level 3. So through the AI classification, we can tell the farmers the level situation, and then the farmers can decide how to control the plant disease. Another application is about the vegetable disease detection. This is tomato. We can detect tomato disease and tomato leaf disease. This network is improved based on state-of-the-art network, YOLO-V5. So we try to do the 3 improvements. The first one is about we try to capture long-range global contextual thematic information about the disease. The second one is that we try to perceive the small-scale disease. Last one is that we try to reduce the misdetection case. So the proposed network can detect the fruit disease and the leaf disease. So this is the detection results compared with other methods. So we can see that our method, the last column, we can successfully detect the different plant disease. So when we go to table 3, we can see that our method, we can achieve the detection accuracy about 88%. And we can also successfully classify the 5 different diseases with the accuracy above 89%. So this detection and classification of the disease can help farmers to control the disease using the appropriate chemical. So can help the farmers to plant the vegetables. Another is about weeding robots. This one is about the AI-based weed segmentation for input image. Using the proposed deep neural network, we can segment the weeds and the wheat. So the blue part is the weed, while the green part is the wheat. So this network, especially the subnet, help us to extract more features from the image, and then we can increase the segmentation accuracy. This picture demonstrates the segmentation results. This is the original image acquired from the wheat field because the occlusion of the leaves. So some image is dark, but some is bright. This is a normal situation. The second row is the ground truth. This is the manually labeled pixel by pixel, manually labeling. And the following are the state-of-the-art method. The last row is our proposed segmentation results. So we can see that our proposed approach can segment the weight and width very close to the ground truth, and the performance better than other methods. Especially we check the segmentation performance in a different growth stages in the 2 and 4 or a mixed situation. We can see that our method can segment the weight more accuracy than others. This table gives the exact number results. This is the 2-week growth stage, 4-week growth stage, and this is the mixed situation. And this one we added another the broadleaf weed, added another new weed species. So we can see that our method, we can achieve the segmentation accuracy about 96% compared with other methods. This one is significantly improved. So by using our proposed method, we can segment the weight with high accuracy and the fastest speed. Based on the segmentation results, we can using the mechanical tool to dig out the weed, because we can find the center point of the weed and using mechanical to dig out. This is a robotic platform in the field situation. So it's wheels, and we have a laptop, and this we have, and in this position we have a camera. The camera toward to the ground, so we can get the image like this. Each width row we get an image, and then we can segment the width part. The previous method is about segmentation using the deep neural network. One restriction is that we need to manually labeling data sets and to train a model, because as this shows that the pixel labeling is really time consuming. So the question is that it's possible to using some limited labeled data to realize the segmentation. In this here, we propose the data augmentation based method to help the segmentation. Our approach is very simple. Suppose we have the image. This is image, 6 images. The left 3, the right 3. We have the 6 images, and the 6 images we can manually label them. So this is the pixel level labeling, so we can get the ground truth of the labels. Now, for these 6 images, each of them we can group one region. We can group one region here, and by this way we can get the regions 6 here, because each image we can get a region here. The 6 regions can patch together to get a new image. Correspondingly, for the labels, we can also get the corresponding patches, and then patch together to get the new label. So we're using a 6 labeled image to create a new image and its corresponding label. By using this this approach, we can create a new data. So this way we can help to train deep neural nets. This table shows the data augmentation-based approach to segmentation results. We can check that the last row is our proposed approach. We can get 98% of the segmentation accuracy. This baseline means we group the image into a 2 multiply 5. This is the approach we group image into a 2 multiply 2. So when we group more regions from image, we can increase the segmentation performance. This is because we bring the data augmentation, bring more diversity of the data sets. That's help for the model training. This picture shows the comparison. The original RGB image is column, and the manually labeled ground truth. This is the basic augmentation method. I mean, the basic is that using the flipping or rotation that method. So we can see here, yeah, the traditional augmentation, yes, there are some outliers. This is the wrong area, but in our case, yes, we don't have this the false segmentation pixels. So that means the effectiveness of the proposed method in the weight segmentation. The following is about the cone spring robot. Here we try a different approach. We're using the mask arraying segmentation method. We segment the weight and the cones, and then based on the segmentation results, the robotic can specific bring the chemical to the weight. By this way, we can reduce the waste of the chemical and to reduce the environment pollution. This is corn with spring. Another is about vegetable roboter. This is the problem we want to solve about is that we want to detect and track each plant here. We want to give the individual care of the letters. As we all know, the robotic working in the field, sometimes it's yes, working forward, sometimes it's well, yes, forward and backward or do some obstacle avoidance or something like this. So we need to make sure there is no missing, there is no repeat string for the letters. In our proposed approach, we can successfully detect each letters and assign a unique ID to the letters. This is ground truth, no matter the robotics working forward or backward, there is no repeat number. This picture, we can show the details. When the robotic move forward, we can assign the ID to the letters. This is 19, this is 20, but when the robotic backward, we can still, yes, get the correct number is 19 is 20. So that means the robotic can identify and tracking the letters. So this is a detailed case. Our method, we can achieve the detection and tracking accuracy above 90% and with a speed over 90 frames per second. This can make sure the robotic working in a real-time situation. This is a short video about how robotic working. Yeah, we can see that with the robotic is working and each letters, we can get a unique number. So in this case, we can do some individual care for each plant. We can give the fertilization, we can give the plant, give the water to the letters to make sure each of them can grow very well. The following is about the thoughts of myself about future farming. I believe that there are four main things we can consider. The first one is about high throughput phenotyping, because currently the variety of the sensors and AI technologies, we can get yes more features and more traits of the plants. So we shouldn't do some advanced measurements and monitoring of the plants than the previous. The second is about sustainability production system. We can combine the AI and big data to build a growth model to research gene growth mechanism. The third is about relationship between the genotype and the phenotype. The internal factor is that genotype, so we need to collect the data and to analyze the genotype and the phenotype relationships. By this way, yes, we can make sure the plant seed in a good quality. The last one is about intelligent sensors, robotic, and control system. We need to develop some equipment or system to realize the automatic data collection, analysis, remote monitoring, and management. By this way, yes, we can talk to the unmanned farm. in my idea is that unmanned farm means that we can, yes, we can manage a farm without human, without human interface. In this unmanned farm, it should cover information, agronomy, agriculture machinery. So we can collect the information from field and through the AI and computer science technology. And finally, we can remote control the machinery in the field to do the farm management automatically. This picture shows how this can be achieved. The information, no matter from the sensors or no matter from the robotics, the information can be uploaded to the cloud. This is an AI-based cloud. And then the cloud can do some basic processing and transfer information to the control panel. Here, the humans can check the information and can check the robotics working situations or something like this, and then make some decisions if necessary. Usually, the AI can help to do some automatic decision. Of course, yes, we can develop some agriculture apps. We can using this to do the management, to do the job opportunity creation, and to do the sensors or robotics control, and also to do some the forecast. So this is a big picture of the future agriculture. I believe, yes, with work of some research, someday, yes, maybe 20 years or 50 years later, we can make sure the smart farming more efficiently than current. That's my talk. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Yongliang Qiao. That was a lovely presentation, and thank you for including the video. All this robotics based kind of agriculture looks very cool and futuristic. So now I'm very pleased to introduce our second key speaker, Dr. João Valente. Dr. Valente is an assistant professor at the UAVS Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Department at Wageningen University in the Netherlands. So thank you so much. And João, you're welcome to share your screen, and yeah, we look forward to your presentation.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm not sure if you can see my presentation.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. In first place, thank you so much to Global Plant Council for this acknowledgement, and also to the Frontiers Journal. Thank you so much for the invitation. As you you have already introduced me, so there is not much to say about that. I'm João Valente from Wageningen University. And my talk will be about agro-food aerial robotics, toward schools, range perception, and interaction. This presentation outline is, will be short and organized in 5 points. A little bit about my background, my academic path, my research interests, why aerial robotics are a game changer for agriculture, what are the current challenge and knowledge gaps, and finally, close range perception and interaction. So a little bit shortly on my academic career. Well, I'm Portuguese. I did my bachelor and master in electrical and computers engineering at the University Nova de Lisboa. I have spent, let's say, mostly of my pre-doc in Spain. After finishing my master in Portugal, I moved to Madrid, to Spain, where I did my master and PhD in robotics in automation, and where I have specialized mostly in agriculture. After that, I was assistant professor also in Spain. And after that, I joined the Wageningen University and research, first as a postdoc researcher. And today I hold the assistant professorship at the Information Technology Group, and where I currently run different national and international projects. Also at Wageningen, I have set up my research group with different and PhDs and a postdoc, the Social Artificial Intelligence Intelligent Drones Lab, which aims to bridge the gap between AR robotics and people. If you would like to follow us, you can also follow us on Twitter. We try always to update our activities and the kind of the different type of projects that we are doing. Whoops. So my research interest, as you can imagine, I'm working at Wageningen. I told you already that I have specialized in agriculture, so I have dedicated lots of my career to precision agriculture, but also to ecology management, where I try to combine different types of technologies like UAVs, robotics, artificial intelligence, but always trying to keep all the outcomes close to the end user, therefore people. So if I can define myself as a scientist, I would say that I would have a foot on fundamental research and a foot on applied research. So why AR robotics are a game changer for agriculture? So we can see in the later years how drone industry involved, and the outlook seems quite promising. We can see also that lately in the previous year, there are lots of initiatives from European Union, such like the European Green Deal, where specifically there is a specific action at Farm to Fork, which aims to shape Europeans' digital future. There is also other initiatives such as like the European Biodiversity Strategy, and there are many others where UAVs, drones, AR robotics, are more futuristic term, are a key technology to address many of the challenges and the problematics that we need to address in the future. We can also see how this technology is important within our European framework. There were several calls on UAVs that have been specifically launched by the European Commission. And one of the points that also should call our attention is the fact that the European Commission wants to reduce the use of chemicals by 50% by the year of 2030. We can see this is already very indicative that I'm sorry, that UAV technology will play an important role. Yes. So what are the current challenge and knowledge gaps? We can see that we have lots of technical challenges, navigation. Currently, we need that UAVs are more autonomous. Also, the data analytics needed to be, we need to find standards and ways more transparent of using these processing chain workflows. We are aiming for ARL systems that are operational condition independent. And we would like also to take advantage of the potential of this platform, so that they can have different kind of sensing and instrumentation on board, which can be combined. Also collaboration with other platforms, such as ground robots or satellites. And also what is quite important is also how we are going to shape these future collaborations with humans in the future. Of course, there is also the social impact and the social challenge that we need to address, adoption costs, reliability, the decision-making time that is currently quite large, the safety, and finally the usability. So we can see that robots are very useful for harvesting and for lots of activities, and will bring lots of benefits to our society by reducing the amount of hard manual labor and solving many of the problems that we currently have, like the shortage of labor in agriculture. So what are the current challenge and knowledge gap? If we look specifically in our problem domain, what kind of things that we are doing? So I'm mostly focusing on woody crops. This can be vineyards or fruit trees, orchards. And we are looking to find and develop methods for rapid disease and pest detection, yield estimation at the plant level. So what we want actually is to minimize the time and the resources and maximize the perception, accuracy, and precision of the ERL systems. Currently, what we can see is that most of the applications that we have is at the patch and field level. We can see that basically UAVs and drones are basically used as a remote sensing instrument. We can say that they are a sensor with wings. They are flew with specific and static flying parameters. You need to do tons of flights in order to achieve this sort of results, as you can see here. And of course, we need to fly to gather data under ideal operation conditions. So we know that, for instance, when we are using multispectral data, we cannot fly all the time. Even when we use RGB cameras, there are certain operation conditions that we need to take in consideration in order to get some results where we can derive some information. There is also the need of cross-disciplinary expertise. This could be positive, but at the same time, it's also negative in the sense that you need different sort of expertise, data scientists, plant scientists, remote sensing scientists, well, also engineering, in order to achieve the results and to obtain information from the data that is acquired. Therefore, we are now facing long processing and analytic times, and of course, with increasing data storage. So we need to store data continuously in order to do some sort of analysis. All these analyses, it's at the operational level. If we look at the plant level, what are the other challenges? We can see that we have problems such as fruit overlapping, fruit occlusion. As you can see in this picture, we can have apples that are overlapped, that are hard to be distinguished. And we have also some fruits, some targets that are hidden by branches. One solution could be repeat flights at different flying angles and altitudes. And then, of course, what we are going to have in the end is more and more data. And again, does not solve our problem at all. So in this sense, we can also try to think and make some reflection that we as human beings, the farmer and the producer, when they are inspecting their crops, when they look to a tree, they see this sort of information. And when they move more to the left, more to the right, they can maximize the information that they obtained from the crop at the plant level. So based on that, we can move directly to the idea of having autonomous aerial robotics, autonomous flying platforms that are able to achieve close range perception and interaction. The requirements to reach that are among many others. We need to standardize the data processing workflows. We need to be high processing change independent. The standardized data processing workflows is also important because will also benefit science in such a way that it will be much more easier to establish and to benchmark the different approaches proposed by different scientists. We need data analytic models generalization. So we want to have a model that is able to cope with different operation conditionals, multiple object detection and tracking to avoid repetitions, crop interaction in manipulation, get close, and perhaps somehow manipulate the plants, autonomous navigation in GPS-denied environments and closely at a very low altitudes, and in the end, active decision-making. This is also fundamental. So the AR robotics take their decisions on real time. So we are working in different lines with respect to standardized data processing workflows. As I mentioned before, the idea is to the homogenization of the processing chains, improve benchmarking between different studies. We did some work on that, and also one of the things that it was quite important for us is to work specifically on early stage disease detection. And we found out that, for instance, we defined a standard to this early stage disease detection based on the biophysical factors. So while in previously there were lots of focus on trying to detect the disease at the fruit level, we tried to give a step back and say, okay, what are the probabilities to find disease in a specific area? We are using with different sort of instrumentation, RGB, also spectral bands. In this case, what you can see in this video is the red and the infrared bands, where we did co-registration. Then we create some NVDI maps from individual UAV image, again, to avoid the high processing chains. We are also working towards real time, and this is also important to us to improve multiple objects detection and tracking that I will mention afterwards, because of course here what we can do is also to differentiate the difficult chemical composition between the different objects that we are detecting based on their properties. For instance, in this study that I mentioned here, the main findings was that actually we got a very good correlation between our ground truth and the disease on the vineyards, and this case study was on vineyards. Also within the framework of the Flexig Robots project, that is a project that envisions the development of an innovative platform for enabling efficient use of novel robotic applications in the agricultural domain. And here, what we are using is also not just one UAV, but multiple UAVs with different instrumentation, so that we can have a heterogeneous fleet of aerial robotics. With respect to data analytics models generalization, so one of the things that is important before finding a model that is able to cope with different operation conditions is also to have more insights on the spatial temporal variability of crops state via UAV imagery in order to design a single model, again, that cope with these crop variations. So in this study that I also mentioned here that was recently published, what we did is that we looked on the flower floridity and clusters over 3 years in the same site, and we tried to understand how these variations could be somehow modeled in order to have a single model that could assess the flower clusters and the floridity estimation at the plant level. Again, at the plant level, that is very important for us. within the ICAEROS project, that is a Horizon project, we are also now planning to, we are now in our way of designing a library where we are going to store different models for different applications. This project has 5 case studies. So within these case studies, we have different applications where we are planning to have this library with different solutions for specific use cases. The ICAEROS project explore drone-based opportunities and provide a more complete and interconnected account of their potential and impacts as multi-purpose vehicles in European agriculture, forestry, and specifically focus also in rural communities. We also aim to apply, showcase, and support the effective, efficient, and safe deployment of drones and identify the risks and added values associated with their use. And what is really important is that now there are 2 distinct types of open calls, each with 2 release dates. Each sub-project will be accepted, each project accepted will last for 1 year and will be divided in 3 phases: design, development, and market. And we believe that these open calls will provide a significant opportunity to engage with industry partners and create exploitable results. So we invite you to investigate, to go to the ICAEROS webpage, investigate the open calls, and of course apply with your specific use cases. With respect to multi-object detection and tracking, MOTS, previously, this was mainly used with heterogeneous objects, cars, people, motorbikes, etc. And here, what we are trying to do is to use a current state of benchmarking MOT algorithms, such as the track RCNN, point track, and YOLO act in homogeneous objects that are the ones that you find in agriculture and livestock, like fruits, apples, grape bunch, and also animals. They can be sheep, cows, etc. We have already some work published in this domain. The main findings was that we got very good results using point track, for instance, even better than track RCNN. But we are currently trying to do more investigation on that. Also, some of our main findings was that the detection goes quite well. The tracking, it's much more challenging. We are now trying to improve it by using also Kalman filtering and optical flow methods. It's important also to say that with this methodology, what we are able to do is to detect traits that are recognized by the International Organization of Vine, for instance, for the case of vineyards. And this is the insights that we can provide from this detection and tracking are really fundamental for precision viniculture. With respect to crop integration and manipulation, so we are addressing the problem of planning the motion of a drone equipped with a robotic arm, or a robotic arm with the end effector that can be a camera, tasked with bridging its end effector up to many targets in a fruit tree. We present a framework that decomposes the problem into stages, the planning approach paths for every target, and quickly planning between the start points of those approach paths. And within the national project, Mars for Earth, there are some colleagues from the Saxon University and Twente University that are developing a physical platform with the end effector that hopefully will do some experiments and apply these motion planning algorithms. Well, finally, but not least, some of the ongoing work is mostly on autonomous navigation. So we want to fly at a very low altitude, also between rows where the GPS sign it's not good enough. And here what we are studying and are different types of visual SLAM approaches where could also support the navigation of the URL systems within that operation conditions. One of the things that is also important is active decision making. So also that the platforms are able to explore and take their own decisions where to find, when they find challenge to detect an object, and take that decision where to go to get a better perception of that object. So in this way, we are focusing mostly in informative path planning to address this problematic. So this is my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. I will be very happy to answer any question that you have.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Valente. I just want to thank both our key speakers for their presentations. It's very, very informative. And of course, it's always wonderful to hear how technology is transforming the field of plant science and agriculture in general. So I wanted to ask if anyone has any questions. We do want to open up our Q&A session now. And I see that we do have 2 questions in the Q&A box. So I'm going to open that. Let's see. So I will maybe read this out loud. So someone is asking, for the developing countries, what are the minimum resources, technology, and expertise required to be successful in smart agriculture? So Dr. Qiao or Dr. Valente, if either one of you would like to take this.
Yeah, maybe I can answer. Could you repeat the question again?
Sure. So the question is, just to maybe repeat it, is for the developing countries, what are the minimum resources, technology, and expertise required to be successful in smart agriculture?
Yeah, it depends on what you mean here, the smart agriculture. Usually for the minimum requirements, we need robotic camera sensors, and we also need a GPS. This is the minimum unit to control the agricultural robots for the smart agriculture. So in many developing countries, I think yes, some education, some specific training to the farmers can help them improve the level of the smart agricultural farming. So generally, yes, it's hard to, I mean that it's a little hard to give a very specific question. This depends, yes, what kind of agriculture task you need and how, what kind of automatic level you require. But generally, camera sensors, GPS, and some basic moving robotics is required. That can help farmers to remote control or remote monitoring the crops, fruits, or something like this. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Qiao. Dr. Valente, would you like to weigh in on that? Or
well, I would like also, I think, I think Yongliang has answered very well. I think I would like also to add that what is important is to establish collaborations also with knowledge institutes in other countries. And these will be, there are different and calls to establish projects with knowledge institutes worldwide. And I think that is a win-win to everybody to try to work in a collaborative way. And this could be perhaps also a first step to try to find their opportunities establish collaboration with other knowledge institutes in other countries, to strengthen also that knowledge and that know-how in low development countries.
Okay, great. So let me move on to the next question. So Grace is asking in the chat, are prototypes for this patented? So if either of you want to answer that one.
Well, I can, everything that I have presented, at least from my side, are not patented yet. So these I don't have, we don't have any currently any patent on the methodology and approach presented.
Okay. All right. And then Edgar, you are raising your hand. Please feel free to unmute and ask.
Thank you for the event, and thank you for giving me the chance to ask a question. So my question is, do you have any experience using big data, high performance computers, AI, and especially the quantum computers to make new plants which can be used in apartments to make a smart small gardens and have a good harvest, or other extreme situations like in small lands, in vertical gardens, to have a better harvest and fast growing vegetables and plants?
Well, I don't know if I understand correctly. I'm sorry, because I'm with allergy today. I'm not sure if I understood correctly. You are saying if we have experience in high performance computing to growing plants where? Sorry, that I did not understood.
To make a new plants using any of these technologies and data to make a new plants which can be grown in extreme situations or in small lands, maybe in space for tomorrow, or in smart gardens inside of apartment, and give better harvest.
Well, I think many of the ongoing work that we have presented today can be used to also to this specific application that you are mentioning. So right now, I think what is important to understand is opportunities there and see how you can scale or downscale. It depends of the size of your farm. From the technical solutions that we provide to your specific use case. But I believe that for growing plants, to find new plants that can grow on hard on challenging environments, I believe that many of the solutions that we have presented can be add value there. Correct?
I think I don't have any good experience with gardening and agriculture. Just asking if there is an option to use data and make new plants. Just asking scientists who are in this field.
If we can use the data.
Big data, AI.
Yeah, of course, you can use big data AI. They are currently already being used. So you can use all of
and make new plants. To modify DNA or something like that.
For sure. I think that there is already some ongoing work on that. It's not my field 100%, so it's not really my domain on creating new plants, but I believe so. I believe that with the advance in technology and big data, I guess that colleagues are already there are already some ongoing work on that.
Maybe someone else have experience. I'm sorry taking so much time.
No worries.
Okay, so maybe we'll take a few more questions. So someone in the chat is also asking if these are open hardware and can they be assembled at labs?
Well, I don't know if my colleague wants to. I don't want also to answer to all the questions. I can just say very fast that most of all the work that I have presented is open source, is in public repositories, and all the data is also available. So if you cannot find the data with respect to what I have presented, you can contact me, that I will be happy to share that data with you.
Okay, great. And maybe a couple more. So next question is, how much computing resources are needed to train the models for automated robotics? Is GPT applicable to robotics in smart agriculture?
Okay, maybe I can answer this question. Yeah. Actually for the raw application, you don't need to much computing resource to use on the robotics. Some nano computing chips like GPC2, yes, can be easily used. This is the consumer level, not much expensive, so easily to be used to train some data and to get a good model. Another approach is that you can train an offline model. I mean that you can use a high performance computer to train a good model, and then you can transfer this good model to a small one. I mean that you can pruning the model or reduce them or squeezing the model into a small size. So in this case, you can make sure the model used in low levels GPU PC. And for the ChatGPT, of course, it can be integrated into robotics. So sometimes, yes, you can directly, yes, input the text information through the ChatGPT to control robotics or something. Yeah, I do believe that the knowledge from the ChatGPT help the farmers to understanding the robotics behavior and to do some path planning or localization. Yeah, that's what will be helpful.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think, Isabel, did you want to add something?
I think there is an interesting question in the chat by Grace, and it's very useful, I believe, probably for students. From a scale of 1 to 5, easy to hard, how hard is studying robotics and automatization? How many years of education does it take to execute all the things demonstrated in the slides? I think João has, when in his presentation, has mentioned his journey, so maybe it is you can follow on that.
Well, I don't think it's hard at all. I don't think it's harder to that any other discipline. It's very hard to quantify how many years you need to put all this in practice. This is a very tricky, it's a very unexpected and tricky question. I think what is important is also that you dedicate your life to do something that you like, to put love in your activities, and then it's just a matter of time, and the outcomes and the results will come. So there is not a specific answer to this to say, now you need 5 years. No, I mean, you don't. There is not a specific number for this. I don't think it's hard at all. I think that I can tell you directly. I think what is hard and what is easy, that is quite subjective, depends of lots of things. And with respect to this was my academic path, but could be also your academic path can also be different.
Dr. Qiao, do you want to weigh in on this?
Yeah. For my part, yes. Yeah, if you want to totally acquire the knowledge about robotics, and I have to say it's not easy. I mean, yeah, you need to some maybe at least 3 years training in the mechanical, automatic, or the mathematical. So totally acquired knowledge robotic. It's really challenging. But as Joe said, yes, if you like, you love it, yeah, maybe you can achieve some targets, at least some specific tasks more easily. For example, if you just focus on reading robots, maybe yes, 1 year, 2 years, yes, you can get some achievements. So sometimes, yes, it depends what kind of level you want to achieve. But if you love, it's easy. If you don't, sometimes it's difficult.
You're completely right. And that's from the researcher perspective. And maybe from the user perspective, how long does it take to learn how to use these models? From a user, a farmer, or agriculture consultant, how long would it take for them to learn how to use it, not how to develop it?
Yeah, you mean using some AI models for agriculture?
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to directly use it, maybe it will be easy. Yeah, you just maybe spend several months to study how to how to feed the data to the model and how to check the results. So yeah, maybe several you can acquire the application skill, but yeah, if you want to to train a model, to learn a model, and some deep learning skills, that will be maybe 1 year or 2 years. It depends on the task complexity. But the lucky thing is that currently the ChatGPT can help you to study, to learn. This is because for some tasks, yes, ChatGPT can give you a framework. It can give some useful information or tips to make you know the key steps of the AI models, of the AI applications. So maybe this is a good tool for our young farmers or researchers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I think we're going to wrap up now. I know this is a very interesting talk and there are more questions, but we're running quite a little overtime. But I want to thank again all our speakers, Isabel, Yongliang, and Qiao. Thank you so much for joining us for this webinar, for making this possible. And if anyone would like to get in touch with us, or if you still have questions for our key speakers, you are really free to email us, and we'll add the questions to the comments section of our YouTube video as this webinar will be posted online. If you have any questions about leading a research topic with us or about our journal, we have our contact information here. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, so I think we'll wrap it up now, and I wish everyone a good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.